Check out this Variegated Nepenthes. Nepenthes, or tropical pitcher plants, are already pretty rare in cultivation. Variegated Nepenthes, almost never seen. And I'm here repotting some of my variegated collection here, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about variegation in these plants and kind of show them and tell any stories I have about them, so you can learn a little bit. Check these out. So the first one is this Variegated Ala, is what it was known as for many, many years. This is one of the only kind of widespread variegated Nepenthes that you can find. It originated from, I believe, or I was told, a Japanese grower who grew a bunch from seed, and one or two of them ended up being extremely variegated all the way down to the pitchers. You can see that the pitchers themselves are variegated. At the time, this was known as Nepenthes Ala. In, I think, 2013, that species was split up into a few different pieces, and now I think it's Nepenthes Gracillima because it is hairless, and true Nepenthes Ala has little hairs on the pitcher. But this one grows really well in lowland or intermediate conditions. It goes really well from cuttings, so you can get this one vining, cut it up. We used to sell these on eBay all the time, really prolific, and you can actually find this around. This plant is from my breeding program. This is a truncata by Ventricosa that we grew. It was the only variegated plant in the set. You can see compared to the Alata or Gracilliflora, it has a very different type of variegation. It's basically light green and dark green with none of the white coloration, but it is really consistent across all of the leaves. It runs along the midrib. The dark patches run along the midrib. You'll see as I show these, there's a lot of different kinds of variegation, and we really don't know what causes the variegation, whether they're discrete types or whether they're just variegated and the different type of plant determines the variegation. But as I go along, observe how different these kinds of variegations can be. This is the only other variegated plant in my collection that didn't come from my breeding program. Please forgive any speckling or spotting. We're in the middle of winter right now, so these plants both need to be repotted and are a little beat up from colder temperatures, darker light levels. This is a Densiflora by Rob Cantley, and it's actually two Densiflora by Rob Cantley that I imported directly from Borneo Exotics that ended up in the same pot. And you can see one of them is not variegated and one of them is. So it's time to pull these apart. These have been in this pot for years. It's ancient soil, so I really need to do something about it. But this variegation has a bit of the white coloration. It's been stable for years, so it's going to be there. You see that some leaves it's a little bit less, some leaves it's a little bit more, but another really interesting, much more speckly type of variegation that we see occasionally with these plants. These two individuals came from the same seed set. This is what we call vintage Vortex, which is a Veitchii by Burbigiae crossed with a striped Barrio Veitchii. And you see they actually have pretty much the same kind of variegation as each other. They have a white stripe down the midrib, which again, different than any other variegations that I've shown so far. I should mention, I am going to save the coolest variegation for the end, so make it through the whole video or fast forward and check it out. But these guys are pretty nice. I like these a lot. Really stable across the leaves. Seems like basically every leaf does it. Maybe that one was a little bit light, but really, really stable, pretty variegation on these guys. Quick little note, we get a lot of questions from people and they send in pictures of their plants saying, is this variegated, is it not, is this just stress? This is a good example of that. This is a plant that got kind of pushed into a corner and left in a really hot area where it was getting a lot of direct sunlight. Hard to tell if this is actually variegated or just a really stressed out plant. Maybe got some pest exposure, maybe some root damage. This is a truncata by Spectabilis. Maybe variegated, we need to grow it out a bit more to see. But just kind of showing you the continuum that is variegation. Some it's like, maybe. Other ones, they are definitely variegated. Speaking of definitely variegated, Stoic Vortex or Spathulata by Veitchii Barrio. Look at this cream color variegation. Again, different than everything else we've seen. Creamy white pitchers, so the variegation does make it down onto the pitcher body. They are really sensitive to sun, so they get kind of brown and speckly when they get too much light. This was a leaf during summer. Again, we're now in winter, so there's been a few leaves, and you can see that they actually thrive in lower light conditions, or at least the variegation looks a lot better, and they don't get as burned because they don't have any of that chlorophyll protecting them. But beautiful type of variegation on this plant. Two more Spathulata crosses with very similar variegation to each other. This one is Spathulata by Talangensis, and this is Spathulata by Mira. And they have kind of light, nice, but very stable variegation that they display. Hard to tell if it makes it down onto the pitchers yet. Again, I'm about to repot. That'll give these all a big kick. Spring will come around. We'll start fertilizing. We'll get them nice and big. And maybe we'll do a follow-up so you can see what all these different variegated plants do under slightly better conditions. Two Veitchii by Miras from our breeding program. This one obviously made a spectacularly variegated leaf a while ago, and it seems to have cooled off a little bit. This newest leaf might even skip it. It might become not variegated anymore. We have no idea. Nobody has variegated Nepenthes, but this one has been holding stable for a really long time. This one, slightly less accentuated variegation, white running along the midrib, obviously still going on the latest leaf here. Not a particularly attractive type of variegate, but still very unique, very cool. A couple more kind of chunky guys. This is a Spathulata crossed with Densiflora robcantlii from our program, Stoic Doom. Nice variegation. This plant got a little bit beat up a few months ago. It might have had some pests on it, but keeps growing variegated, pretty nice. And then this is a robcantlii by Truncata. It is a Royal Tower, if you're interested. We've done that cross a bunch of times, but a nice speckly white variegation that seems to kind of alternate. This leaf was half and half. This one had this really nice speckling. This one up in the corner. Newest one, hard to tell. So variegation turns on and off. We have never seen it be strongly variegated on a plant and then have it fully go away. But again, most of these plants are still pretty young, so we have no idea what it's going to do long term. Now, a couple of my favorites. This little guy here is a Ventricosa by Dubia. You can see it has a couple growth points that must be from the same plant, and then a third growth point over here that I believe is probably a completely separate seedling from the bunch, because these two are very variegated, and that one there has no variegation whatsoever. So we're going to divide this out, grow them out, see how they do. But a beautiful type of variegation, half and half on some of these. Really, really nice. And then this guy looks like no other variegate that we have. This is a Veitchii by Brixiana. It makes this beautiful, I would call this almost tricolor, midrib, milky white, dark green exteriors, but then a pink interior that sticks around throughout the whole growth process. Love this plant. Really excited to pot this up and get some size on it. Beautiful, beautiful variegation on this guy. Now my favorite, robcantlii by Singulana hamata, Regal Serpent. This is my favorite variegated plant. It makes really, really milky half and half leaves that start off kind of all green and then fade to this bright white. But the pitchers can be ghostly white, and they have teeth from the hamata. Really, really exceptional plant. This might be my favorite individual in the greenhouse because it's already a really great hybrid that I don't think anyone else has done. We only have a few specimens of it. And one of them, this one, came out with a really unique, beautiful variegation. Love this guy. Thank you for sticking around. There's a couple quick notes that came to mind as I was doing that I just wanted to get out there about what variegation is and what we know about it. This, the first plant that I showed, the Variegated Ala from way back, very stable variegation, been around for decades. We have actually bred with this plant. It is a male. We've put it on a few different plants. No variegation on any of the offspring. So at least in the first generation, there does not seem to be a direct dominant genetic line to variegation. Also along these points, I was on a video roundtable with the International Carnivorous Plant Society. If I can find it, it's a YouTube video. Maybe I'll link it below. It was with me, Drew Martinez from Carnivoro, and Rob Cantley from Borneo Exotics. So between the three of us, we probably represent a plurality, if not a majority, of all of the Nepenthes breeding that has happened in the past few decades. And Rob had some really interesting insights where he said, one, they hardly see variegation on their end. They had a few variegated plants. They have a really famous variegated Sibuyunensis, I think, that they brought out that's huge and very beautiful. And I think Drew might have a cutting of that plant is maybe what came out in that. But Rob had a really interesting point because he spent a lot more time in the field than anybody. I've not done any actual field work in Southeast Asia on Nepenthes. And he said something remarkable that he had never even seen a single variegated or semi-variegated Nepenthes in all of his exploring. Not a seedling, not a mature plant, not something that's caught his eye. That could be because there's a lot of selective pressure against it, or it could be that it is an environmental thing that happens in cultivation, pests, protocols, specific environmental things in greenhouses. We have no idea. There's a whole rabbit hole you can go down about the tulip mania and variegated tulips, and that ended up being a virus that caused it. These do not seem to be viral. Variegation does not spread even in very closely spaced plants. There doesn't seem to be any contact variegation happening. It doesn't happen in patches. It doesn't come in big waves. When they're grown in vitro, sterile seeds sowed in little petri dishes, they don't all come out of a petri dish variegated. So there doesn't seem to be any contact causing the variegation to happen. So it remains a bit of a mystery. And hopefully people are looking into it. I might start kind of digging around since I have so many of these variegated plants. But that's the information I have so far. That's the plants I have. I hope you enjoyed them. Variegated Nepenthes.